In this session, I will introduce you to the 3 pillars that support Scrum teams in delivering a product and that help stakeholders remain confident of progress being made. These 3 pillars are transparency, inspection, and adaptation. Enjoy. Throughout delivery, the Scrum team will ensure that stakeholders have sight of their progress. The work currently being done by the Scrum team will be in the sprint backlog, so that it is transparent to everyone what is being worked on right now. The product backlog feeds the next priorities to the sprint backlog during the sprint planning event held at the beginning of each sprint. By examining both the sprint backlog and the product backlog, stakeholders will see the work being done now and what else remains to be done. The sprint backlog ensures that it is transparent to everyone who is responsible for which tasks. The Scrum team's daily stand-up allows for progress to be monitored against the sprint backlog and to help manage risks that could delay the work being done. Now, the daily stand-up creates a sense of accountability with the Scrum team as each member reports on their own progress. This level of transparency means that early detection of risks and issues should lead to informed decision-making aimed at reducing the potential negative impact on the work being done. The sprint review, which takes place at the end of each sprint, allows stakeholders to see for themselves the work done by the Scrum team. The stakeholders will then provide feedback on the work done to the Scrum team during the sprint review. It's worth remembering that before the Scrum team starts any work, it has a definition of ready, which essentially confirms that they have all the information they need to start the work immediately. This information includes customer requirements, priorities and estimates of how long the work will take. The transparent nature of definition of ready means that the Scrum team can meet the set criteria of definition of done that makes clear when the work is complete. So far we've covered the first pillar of transparency. Let's look at the second pillar, inspection. Inspection concerns itself with being able to look at and examine the work done. It provides an opportunity to spot deviations from what was agreed to be done and by when. During sprint planning at the beginning of each sprint, the Scrum team with stakeholders will determine the work that needs to be done in that sprint. Daily stand-up meetings have the Scrum team inspect their own progress, raise any concerns and confirm what is planned to be done that day. At the end of the sprint review has stakeholders invited to review the work done and get their feedback. Once the sprint is complete, there is a sprint retrospective in which the Scrum team evaluates what went well and what did not. This allows for continuous improvement on how they function and deliver. This level of inspection combined with transparency means that the next sprint is informed by the experiences, good or bad, of the Scrum team. And this leads to our third and final pillar, adaptation. Adaptation comes from applying the learnings from the insights gained during the current and past sprints. During the sprint backlog may be adjusted to accommodate emerging issues or to address specific feedback given during the sprint review. The daily stand-up may see a concern raised by a Scrum member, which leads to the team to adapt or fine-tune their approach. So far I've explained how transparency, inspection and adaptation are the 3 pillars that support successful outcomes for the Scrum team and the stakeholders. Let's see how these 3 pillars compare and contrast to the waterfall approach. Now, waterfall starts with the requirements being gathered, the product is then defined, then it is built by the delivery team before being tested. Finally, in one go, at the end, the product is given to the customer. With waterfall, there is little provision given to making progress by the delivery team more transparent. It doesn't allow for inspection of the product by the customer until development and testing is complete. The waterfall method actually develops within stakeholders increased levels of uncertainty over time. And this is because waterfall lacks transparency. It doesn't create the space for stakeholders to inspect progress, nor does it allow for adaptation. The requirements, once understood and agreed, become fixed and ready for inspection only at the end, which is too late to adapt and improve the team's way of working. The 3 pillars, transparency, inspect and adaptation, which supports Scrum teams, actually creates increased certainty with stakeholders. And this is because with each sprint, the team is transparent with its progress, the stakeholders can give feedback throughout the product's development, which leads to adaptation of processes and what the product should look and behave like. I hope you found this session useful on how to improve the likelihood of success by being more transparent, allowing for your work to be inspected, which could lead to adaptation of how things are done. Take care.